Okay, so as you can see by the title, there is some very interesting news that was released very recently this week. Netflix apparently is wanting to dive a little bit deeper into the anime industry and focus more on anime and licensing anime. It was revealed earlier this week around Monday and Tuesday that out of its $8 billion budget, Netflix apparently wants to have at least 30 new anime series this upcoming year, 2018. Now, I know many of you right now, there's probably a split, like a divide. Many of you are probably saying, like, ooh, this is very exciting, and then some of you are like, I don't really care about this, it's actually not good. And let me clarify if you don't understand why some would say this isn't good. Number one, Netflix is notorious for not releasing anime when they actually come out. Let's take for a recent example, Fate, the new Fate series, or let's take for example Kakiguri, you know, the gambling series that came out last anime season. Well, Netflix is notorious for grabbing anime and basically waiting until the series has finished airing and then finally releasing it maybe a couple months after it's finished airing in Japan. So if you take a moment to think about how anime watchers usually are, then you're going to realize how this is a problem. Let's just think about what I do in general, okay, as an anime watcher. I watch an episode of a series soon as it comes out. For instance, Dragon Ball Super, okay? Let's take an example of Dragon Ball Super. Comes out every Saturday around 8 o'clock, 8:15 my time, 8:15 p.m., and I watch it at night, and I try to put a review up sometime later that night or early the next morning. And basically, many of us, we decide to watch an episode when it comes out. That's just how we handle certain shows. Not just Dragon Ball, but other series that come out each anime season. And it's just like something many of us have grown accustomed to. That's what we normally do. We watch anime when an episode comes out of a new series. In this case, Netflix goes against the grain. They go against what anime watchers normally do. They like to make it to where they release the entirety of the series in one sitting. For instance, for the binge watchers. Now, don't get me wrong, Netflix is a type of service to where it's more for binge watchers to just sit down and watch a bunch of stuff all at once. And I bet they do make a lot of money from that, from their statistics and stuff and their details they have for their service. I bet it makes them a lot of money. But overall, though, when it comes to the anime community, the way they handle anime, in all honesty, it doesn't really work. Because normally, when a series comes out, we want to see it when it comes out. We'll find our own ways to watch it if we must. That's just how people are. I mean, let's just face the cold, hard truth. So Netflix wanting to grab 30 new anime, at the very least 30 new anime for the upcoming year, just spells for, once again, another issue that has been going on already from this year. They're picking up series, and they're releasing them many months after the air. New stuff is coming out, and people no longer care about that anime. It's kind of like this, okay? I know many of you might care about Kakiguri, that, you know, aired last season. It was a very fun show. But in reality, though, when you think about it, this season, since there's already new stuff coming out, you probably don't even care about this series anymore. You don't. You don't care about that anime anymore. You just don't. When a new season begins, you start caring about all the new stuff. You don't care about the old stuff from the previous season, and that is where Netflix, I think, is actually wrong with their business practices. They need to kind of figure out a way to release it episode by episode when it is released. I really wish they would do something like that. Hopefully they learn from this upcoming year. But basically, just to let all of you know, Netflix is devoting a lot more money into anime next year, and it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Overall, it is a good thing. It is a good thing that anime is getting more popular, and, you know, people are focusing on it. Big companies are focusing on it. For instance, you know, Netflix. It's a very good thing. It is overall a very good thing for the anime community, anime industry, but it's still, it needs to change a little bit. There needs to be a little bit of changes when it comes to some of the releases. Like Anime Strike, there's a lot of problems with that service when it comes to the subscription and how you have to have 2 different subscriptions to be able to watch it. And let's not even get into the fact of how different countries can't even watch it, and like they're alienated from watching certain shows. And then Netflix as well. Netflix is a type of, you know, overall content provider that, you know, waits until the series is done, months pass, and then release it. Because if I'm correct, Kakiguri is not coming out until like December or January of next year. So that's just like, what? What? Like, you won't even care about the series at that point. You will not care about that anime at that point once time passes, because you're going to want to watch it already. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video to let all of you know, if you're unaware of this, Netflix is devoting more money into the anime industry. How do you feel about this? I mean, do you think this is good news or bad news? I know I did a lot of negatives here. It's just the reason why is I'm criticizing some of the business practices of Netflix. I know some of the times when they release shows it works, like for instance House of Cards to, Stranger Things. They're big, long live action series. I'm fine with that. But when it comes to stuff like that's a TV show that, releases like, an episode a week, especially the anime community, I feel like they need to kind of change some of their rules and allow something like that to where they release it episode by episode. I mean, I remember in the past they used to do something like that with Lost. I remember when Lost used to come out, like the episodes and stuff for like season 6 and 5. I remember that Netflix used to release it episode by episode. I do remember that. It was like a week or so, and then they would add the episode. I really wish they would do something like that. So I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, how you felt about this news. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? If you like my content, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please leave a like. I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.